Okay, YouTube land, what's good? This is your host from the Gulf Coast doing the most.
Doing the most.
Donte.
And Shellie.
We are the yin and yang of Short-Term Rentals podcast. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. Animal noises.
Darn fools.
And cut. Oh man, so yeah, we're just gonna roll into it. We are live. So yeah, like I mentioned before we started recording, this is going to be a very interesting next couple months, because as most people who have maybe been listening would know, and the new ones who haven't been listening, to make them aware, I've transitioned my short-term rental space to be able to do mid-term rentals, and it went very successful since August. I've been having pretty much a roommate, and he's been, paying that same rate every month, and it's been going perfect. It was less turnover, less cleaning. He's like, I got spoiled, to be honest. I'm a Mr. Brother. I thought about getting him a gift, because I was like, bro, you helped me out a lot, and this was my first venture in having this situation like this. And I don't think it's gonna go like this ever again, to be honest. I mean, from the flexibility of them, the cleanliness of them, this is like A1 guest material. And to go back into the short-term rental space or the midterm rental space, because that is a decision that I'm still flirting with, because I actually like that midterm. Mm-hmm. If I had the choice of making, let's say, $10,000 doing a short-term rental, and I had the choice of doing maybe 9 or 8 with a midterm rental, I would probably go with the midterm, just because the little bit of money that I might lose out on saves me the time of the self-management that I do with cleaning and turnover and worrying. And, there's a lot of little things, restocking, all these things that I have to do that I don't have to do in the midterm. It's often, like homie bought his own stuff. He cleaned his own stuff. He wasn't looking for me to provide that service. So that was awesome. And you lose a little bit of like some freedom, but fortunate, some people, they still go and still leave and maybe go back to wherever and take trips and vacations and got some time to yourself in the space. So I liked it a lot. But I always want to have different exit strategies. So I want to be able to do both. So I know you're going to have a couple questions about, what my next steps are. But essentially, now that the space will be vacant and I talked to you about it, it's going to be the first time I've had the place to myself in a long time. Mm-hmm. And I actually will be like, man, it'd be nice to just be me in here and do whatever I want, whenever I want, and have whoever I want over, not to worry about it being disruptive to someone else. So for a month, I think I'm just going to enjoy that. It's been a good quarter. Yeah. And I'm going to, and monetarily, I started off the year way better than I did last year. So, and I got other things going on. So I don't need the money as much as I did last year to just feel like I have to just stay on. So what I plan to do is literally take some of those ideas we talked about last year and that I've been dwelling on with, enhancing the experience of the stay, a little bit more decor, also add-ons like we discussed on the previous episodes. If y'all haven't listened to it, check it out, with giving some ability for doing musical recordings, audio recordings, making that very convenient and marketing that for guests, and even setting up some time to set up additional places for booking. I don't know if I'll do a website, maybe, as I've seen you talk about it and see how you're doing it. I'm just like, I've done one before. It might be enough thing to add with a very small cost, but You know, I might be able to tap into a whole nother demographic of just like saying like, hey, like I'm structuring this for people who are in this media space or in this artist space. I might even start making it a place for artists to be like, you know, I might really push that because I think it's a niche that would be very appreciated for regular people and people who are like artists, their primary source of income, you know, because you can be outside and do things. You can do things inside. It's very like secluded for the most part. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking on. I'm thinking about just investing some of this money I've made in this first quarter into that and just taking the time to really flush things out, build it, get it everything ready so that we launch right in June and rock and roll in peak season.
So if you're planning on, first, let me say congrats.
Thanks.
On
so weird to hear people saying congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
I feel like we got to probably do that more in this community where it's like even the small things you should be like feel some pride in.
That's right.
'Cause I definitely overlooked that. I'll be like, I thought about that on the way here. I was like, man, I think I made, you know, January last year when I did this, I made like $70. February, I made $0. I think March, I made like 500, and then like April, I think it was like 7. So it's literally like around $1,500 that I made, and now this where it's like in the, you know, 4s. So it's just like, I'm definitely has something to be proud of.
Yeah, you do. And what's funny, remember, you know, in previous episode, it was like, what do you think 2024 is going to be? Do you think, you know, it's going to be
up or down,
and so again,
sideways.
You know, you're doing great.
Yeah.
You know, far succeeding last year, your trajectory. I mean, you've almost hit half of where you were at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So, and again, with a lot, and I think you're probably leaving some on the table because again, what you're probably not doing is saying, how much have I saved by not buying all the products and restocking and again paying myself for the cleaning and da. So if you consider those things in terms of what you spent to make what you made last year, you're really probably halfway.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even throw out real numbers for people because I think that can be helpful for people like myself because you hear people talk about stuff and you're like, well, what's the number like? Like, I think I made 10, that's, you know, it made about 10K and I spent about 2K over the year. So it was like really pocketing 8, you know, netting 8. So I've spent very little to nothing already this year and I'm already at 4. So yeah, technically I am halfway there to what I netted in the whole year of 2023 within the first 4 months of the year.
4 months, right. So it's already
a
better year.
Definitely.
You know, with that type of strategy. And I remember when I kind of was looking at getting into the space, I don't want to say, last year and the year previous, I was like, okay, what am I going to do in off-peak season? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I thought about was that midterm. Yeah. And so that's why I listed on Furnish Finders. What I found interesting, which I wasn't really shocked when I really thought about it because I have a whole large house. But I didn't get any conversions at all from that particular platform, so much so that I just made a decision that this year I'm not gonna go that route. And now I did have some midterm stays, but it was not as a result of that. I got leads, but you know, people kind of wanted to negotiate. Yeah. And I'm not negotiating. So, because you know, it is what
the price is the price.
The price is the price because of the quality that's there. Right. You know, so you want me to bring my price down when my quality is high, and I'm not going to do that. If I want it to be average, then I would have been. So, so for me, it just really, that's not, it wasn't a marriage of my ideal client with them. Please govern yourselves for their church announcements.
Wow.
We'd like for you to hit the like button. It helps us with the algorithm, especially for a new channel like us. And Donte's experienced a lot of rejection, so he needs some likes in his life.
Somebody like me, please.
Also, please subscribe. Hit the notification button so you'll know when something new drops. Our giveaways are specific to our subscribers, so please subscribe so you can participate.
And ask us some questions. Leave us some comments.
Don't forget to share, because sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
And how long did you have it up there? How would you say?
I'm almost at a year because
Okay.
you pay for the year. So it's not down yet, technically. But again, I purposely was like, I'm really going to be focusing on kind of the off-peak season. We're definitely in peak season now, so.
And in all fairness, so people who are listening are aware, like, furnish finders and stuff like that, midterm rentals, it's usually like a traveling worker a lot of times. And this is like one person. Occasionally you'll get groups of people who will do it together, but in certain markets, you'll probably see that more frequently than others. And with this being like a smaller market or mid-sized market, I think it's less common. You'll get a group of people in the hospital getting in together to work. You're like, I don't know, but that's just my assumption.
No, I think you're 100% right.
Right. So I don't want people to think like, like Furnish Finders is not the best, but I just think she's got a big house. It's definitely family structure as opposed to someone like me who's just doing a room.
Right.
Those people would probably be like, all I need is this, really. And that's maybe why it wasn't working out for the people who were trying to negotiate, because they're like, well, I love it.
Right.
But I don't want to pay for all this when I don't need all this.
That's exactly what I got.
Yeah.
That's exactly was the thing. And some of them weren't even, just kind of travelers for working. It was, hey, I'm coming down
Snowbird a little bit.
For 3-4 months, and I want to be near my grandkids. And
Right.
So it's just my husband and I, and my grandkids might come stay the night once or twice, but for the most part.
Yeah.
And but we love it, and we really hope this works out.
Oh, dude, on their side, it's the best case scenario to have a house like that, and there's just two of them, and then they can just have people come over and kick them out and have all that space and the location. Like, yeah, they would. I don't fault them for trying to negotiate.
Right, and neither did I.
Right.
And if I was in a place of I need something to pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like a horrible low ball.
Yeah.
But it really just, I would have been in a hole because of the utilities.
Yeah.
So you want to pay what people are paying to rent these homes unfurnished, and where they're responsible for the utilities, but you don't want to, pay for that. So that's kind of where the impasse came, because I don't know if you're gonna turn off lights, when you're not in a room, or if you're just gonna have water running and, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. You just don't know. But once you lock in and you're staying here for X amount of months, I'm gonna be responsible for whatever that bill's gonna be.
Right.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
so it just didn't work out. I think, to your credit, definitely know this on Furnish Finders. I think they are fantastic, but I agree with you 110%. My home probably is not the best fit for that. I think people who have one room, maybe two, are kind of that optimal niche.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of noticed. And then the pets.
I was gonna say.
When you did have some, I'm a no pet policy.
Yeah.
And so, can I bring my friend?
Oh man. Oh yeah. They would have loved bringing their little rugrat in your spot.
And that's what one was like. It's plenty of space for her to run around. No, it's not. Outside's got plenty of space for her to run around.
Those people from up north or whatever, man, they get a backyard somewhere. They're like, Furry would love this.
He would love that, yeah. So it just wasn't a good fit. And so to me, I just kind of, wondering, like, are you, because you're thinking you're going to take a month off. So are you planning on, using someone like Furnish Finders? You're going to try the word of mouth thing?
So with the marketing the space for our midterm rental, Furnish Finder was really the only place that I am aware of. You know, Airbnb has a place where you can do like 30 days and stuff like that. You know, you can do some month stays on there too. So I will advertise on that platform like, hey, I am also open to this. I think I actually wrote that in there. I think it's still there where I say I'll do midterm rentals. I don't even know if you're allowed to advertise that, but I did. But using Facebook and Instagram and just the basic things.
Okay.
Like just starting with that, I was going to see how it goes.
Okay.
You know, and I can actually do that in the month I'm taking off and just advertise like next month I'm going to be opening this up. Because one of the things that when I first got the house, one of my music homies, we talked about how I was getting this and how I had this idea of renting out a room. And he was like, bro, you could really just target to like people in college who are going to be staying there for semesters, or people who are like needing something transitionary to hold them down while something maybe is getting built or something like that, or they're getting, you know. So he was like, there's this whole thing you can just like get easy money and just turn it like. He's like, it could be the come up place. That's what he used to call it. Like, he would just like, while they're waiting, this is boom, you can stay here for a little bit. So even targeting going directly to the college, PSC, not PSC, but the UWF and the Christian Academy, like both of those places, like saying like, hey, can you mind? I got a place. It's not super far from these places, especially Christian Academy, Christian College. You know, people can just stay here and you pretty much be a roommate for your semester. Or, you know, if you have some...
Do you really want to be the roommate for Christian college?
Yeah, I would. I probably need that in my life, you know? I'm all about having people around who are not like me, you know? My mother would love the idea. I mean, think about it. And let's, all jokes aside, but no jokes aside. What if it's a girl? It's like this Christian girl. Like, Ma, there's this Christian girl who wants to stay here while she's doing her semester at particular Christian college. How do you feel about that? And she's like, what's her name? I want to meet her. Like, she might be over there. I might see my mom every week if that situation happened. She'll be like bringing her stuff. You know, inviting her to things. We're out to dinner. You want to come? I'm like, you ain't never invited me to the family dinner. How you gonna invite her to the family? But anyways,
she ain't inviting you because you a heathen.
I know. I was like, yo, okay, this is what we doing. This what we doing. But yeah, so I would definitely go directly to places, and you know, talk to people. Say, hey, this is something that might be of value to people who are going here. Because finding places to stay and rent is expensive for everybody, whether you're a student,
it really is,
or you know, somebody working. So just people having another option, I guarantee that people would definitely be like, okay, they would talk to me, see me, like, this dude seems like a regular guy, seems safe. He's also on these platforms, he's got good reviews. Like, I got all the credibility I think I need for someone to feel okay. So that's definitely something I would probably do in the month of May, is start putting that out there. But yeah, I have one of the things that I love about taking this month to do this reassessing, is that the fact that I can even do it is really something I like to let people know. It's like when you have an asset that you control, or a business or whatever, it's like the fact you can't do that at your job. You can't say like, I'm just going to stop doing it for a month and then come back into it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, when I thought about it, last year I probably would have never done that. There was probably a month where I was like, I'm burned out, I'm tired of doing all this, but I was like, I got to keep doing it because I need to. But now I'm like, I went through that. Now I'm like, I don't have to do this the whole year if I don't want to. You know, especially when you got other income. Do you have
to do it at all now? It seems like your entire financial portfolio is
I don't have to, but because I'm growing another startup, it helps fund that. Yeah. And to me, the streams of income right now are very important to me, just because where we are economically, where I feel like there might be pullbacks, where I feel like things might get more expensive for the next coming years. I feel like getting as much cash as I can into my world is something that, even if I don't need it right now, you know, I'm not at a place where a couple things could happen where I'd be still okay You know, I still need to save up. I still need to get some money out there to invest into. So, you know, if my other businesses take off a little bit more, if there's a couple more deals done, I sent them the title company my wire transfer information yesterday. So I was finally happy because this thing I've been waiting to get closed. I was like, yo, when am I gonna get this money, man? It's been tight. So just like if I get a couple more of those going, then, you know, I might get out the space. I might get out of it. And so like it served its purpose. You know, it helped me get to a certain level financially, and then it also helped me fund my other business, and now the business is almost able to be self-sufficient. I think by June we should be good, although we did have some hiccups come up yesterday that I have to figure out. Might be eating to my profits, but it is what it is. But, you know, I actually have a partner who's trying to do flips with me, so that's a new thing that I might be getting into. So that's might take a lot more time. So, you know, it might be something where I'm like, yeah, I might not need it, and focus on some other things. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I know.
So you're becoming me.
Yeah.
Like I don't need it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's gonna be more. I definitely am thinking about doing like you did, with like theming it a little bit more. So I'm gonna play around with those ideas, and I think. And
I'm still down to help.
That's what I was gonna say.
Bad ideas.
I'm gonna consult the council, all my councils, and be like, hey, what do you guys think? This is what my budget is. This is some of the options I'm thinking, and everyone who wants to help, who can help, I'm definitely gonna be leaning on.
Yep, I've already got some ideas flowing, so I'm excited. Well, that's awesome. So, what do y'all think about Tay transitioning? He's in an awesome location, you know, just literally minutes from downtown, right off the interstate, awesome location. And so him transitioning from short term to more of a midterm stay. What do y'all think about that? Is it a risk? Is it a risk worth taking? Is he leaving too much money on the table? Or are you glad he's gone as competition? Drop it in the comments. Let us know what y'all thinking.
Till next time.
Blessed like, S-Class, when you're fully redeemed, he'll give you what you want. The road to Orlando, he took me to and from. Not one accident done, now that's what's happened, none. Since an adolescent, I've been blessed without a question. To prosper, I've been destined, past, future, and my present. I praise you because of you, Lord, I've learned some lessons. Diligently get on bending knee when the devil starts messing. I thank the Lord because I never had to slang, was raised right, and my sister was the same way. And we was taught how to get down on our knees and pray for every single blessing on each and every day. Jesus took 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread.